Royalty requires that there is a higher will that the royal ones are supposed to obey. That is one of the demands of royalty. That was why it is easier for a commoner to make decisions based on the commonness of their nature. And they will say a commoner enjoys freedom, but royalty has its trappings. Because a commoner is not responsible as regards the affairs of state or as delivering the message of God, or he doesn't see himself in that. He doesn't do that. A commoner is just supposed to live his life and live a very ordinary life, but royalty demands. That's why Apostle Paul said, necessity is laid on me. You see, when you hear the word like necessity, it means I have no alternative. I have no option. I have no freedom. You see, I couldn't just decide not to preach. You see, he said there is a constraint. He said there is a constraint in my spirit. The gospel is burning in my bones. What is he saying? He's saying that I cannot just decide I'm not preaching. It is a royal demand. There is a royal decree that says I must preach. And therefore, all the decisions he would make from then onward has to be in line with what will make his life comfortable as a preacher. So one day I wrote something like this some years back, and somebody, a pastor's wife, reached out to me and said, "No, I shouldn't do that. A lot of young women are not getting married, and if people read what I write and they believe that I speak the heart of God, and if I say that pastors should not marry just anybody, that is wrong. All of us are royal priesthood. Pastors can marry anybody as long as the person is a Christian." And I said, no, 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 no. And when I was saying that, I didn't even have the full understanding of what I meant, but I just knew in my spirit that two cannot work together except they agree. When I was in the university, I know ladies who are pastors' children, raised by pastors, who swore that they do not want anything to do with pastors. They do not want to marry a pastor. They are not comfortable with the lifestyle that being a pastor requires. They do not accommodate people. They don't want people in their husband's life apart from only themselves. They don't want their husbands attending to people's cases, doing counseling, doing all the things that pastors do. They already know, and they've conditioned their mind that they do not want to be with a pastor. Therefore, if you want to say a pastor should marry them and they marry a pastor, they will make the life of that pastor hell. And it will not be able to fulfill its destiny. Because they will be uncomfortable, being that they have programmed their mind all the things that will be required of him to fulfill his ministry. There will be a turn on the side, and it will make their home unhappy. It will make them unsettled as a couple, and their children will not have the kind of home they are supposed to have. Therefore, a pastor can't marry just anybody. He must marry somebody that has programmed herself, that has decided in her heart, that is determined in her heart to be the best pastor's wife that God has made in this world. That is the only person that the pastor can marry. It doesn't matter whether the person is a sister, a deacon, a deaconess, a prophet. Titles are irrelevant when it comes to fulfilling destiny. What matters is, what am I programmed to do? I always imagine Apostle Paul, if he was in this day and age, if he was one of us, and if he was one of the preachers online now, and Apostle Paul, being who he was, how would they have coped with the trappings of today's world, with all the skills, the false skills, and the false weights that all of us have amassed around ourselves? How would they have coped? Many of us forget that we have royalty and that there is a duty that we have beyond our personal self and personal goals. There is a duty we have towards the gospel. We have a duty towards the gospel. Some people laid down their life literally for this gospel. Some people are putting their body under daily for this gospel. Some husbands would marry a wife in this gospel and then deny her the opportunity to fulfill her destiny in this gospel. Some wives will marry husbands in this gospel and they will then deny their husband the opportunity of fulfilling his destiny in this gospel. They would make sure that the person's gaze turns away from God to self. They want the person to actually worship them. And they wouldn't do this deliberately. They would cry, they would manipulate, they would argue, they would do all sorts. What about my feelings? What are invalidating? What about me? That's it. And the guy will be saying, no, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the gospel. Let me tell you what happened. So I met a couple some years back. They were not married at the time. And I met them only for one day. That one day was even like a dinner. A dinner. There was this dinner that was done when I was in the final year in the university that I attended. In another university. The faculty of law of that school was having their dinner and I was invited. So I went. And when I got there, I met this couple. I've been praying for them all night. I didn't sleep. Oh, and the lady, the sister, I knew from the moment I set my eyes on her that she was going to do well as a missionary. She was going to, she has a passion, she has a heart, she has a spirit that she wouldn't stay in Nigeria for long. And she was going to go all over the world preaching the gospel, and it will not be at the TV level. She was going to go do it in rural, like this evangelism. I just knew it. It was as if I could see her future. I didn't see a vision, but I could just feel that was her path. I just knew. And I was quite impressed with her because I was a campus fellowship leader myself at the time at the university I was attending. And I've been in fellowship with fellow Christians, so I could easily spot those who are earmarked for ministry among us. Because if you've been among young Christians who are vibrant and all of you are praying together, and the Holy Spirit begins to give you an idea of where all of you are heading in life, you will know those of us who will become pastors, you will know those who will become evangelists, you will know those who will go into secular work. You will know those who just have zeal, who just love the Lord, but they don't have a calling on their life. And you will know those who are not even part of our executive, but that they have calling and they are going to fulfill it. As you walk with God, you begin to know these things because we are all laborers in the same vineyard, and the Lord will reveal to you things that even things you didn't ask Him to show you, He will reveal because you are in the Spirit. And so I was quite impressed or taken in by this young lady at the time. We got to the dinner and she was sitting with a young man. So the lady that invited me for the dinner said to me that, oh, she had been telling me about this young minister like me, that's the guy, that the guy is so vibrant, is full of the Holy Spirit. And I saw the guy. And this guy, even though he's vibrant and full of the Holy Spirit, this guy is a pastor. Like, I'm not a pastor. So I know pastors when I see them. I know the heart of a pastor. I know the demeanor of a pastor. I know the courage of a pastor. I'm not talking about people that are gentle and I just look at people who say that's a pastor. No. I'm not talking about that. Pastors are not always gentle. But if you are cut from the same hue and dye, you will know who is who. I know pastors. If I see 10-year-old that is going to be a pastor, I will tell you this boy is going to be a pastor. I just know because I belong to their family. So I know who is who. I knew this guy. was going to have a church and that is going to start a ministry and that his ministry will flourish. So when they told me that he was going to get married to that lady, I knew it wouldn't work. I didn't need to pray about it. Both of them are full of the Holy Spirit. Both of them are vibrant, but their path in life are different. One will not be satisfied to sit in one local area and be doing parish mommy or mommy Gio. She will never fulfill destiny seated in one church. I knew it. And the other will not go around the world. Is going to be fulfilled as a pastor in a local assembly. You can see that even though both of them are born again, they are not meant to marry each other. They are not meant to marry each other. It doesn't matter. You can't do, it is royalty. It is a calling. It is their calling. They belong to different tribes. One is going to be doing transhumance, and the other is going to sit in the tent. How can you want them to marry? Just because they are male and female? No, they have separate journeys, separate paths. It's like Esau and Jacob marrying each other. Do you see the problem here? The Bible said Esau loves the field and Jacob loves the tent. How can they be married? As brothers, they don't like each other. They never agreed because their nature was so different. One loves the field. That means he likes to play outdoors. He likes to move about. He wanders. And that is where he finds fulfillment. He's adventurous. The other is contented to sit at home. So that is their reality. And then one is male and one is female, because both of them are speaking in tongues, because both of them, they shouldn't marry. And I called this brother, even though, of course, he was with me for the first time. I'm not a spiritual father. And maybe if I'm older than him, maybe by 2 or 3 years, as at that time, because I knew I'll be older than him by a few years. But I called him aside. I didn't say, oh, this was a dinner and this guy didn't know me. Didn't know. I just called him aside. When I called him aside, I introduced myself. My name is so-and-so, campus fellowship leader from Boy University. I'm happy to hear about you. I was told about the good work you've been doing in the Lord. Who is that sister? Oh, he said, this is my intended. And then he introduced that to me. Then the sister went back to sit to continue her dinner while I held his hand and I told him point blank, sir, by the mercies of God, I beseech thee, do not marry this sister. I beg you. I beg you. Both of you will be in trouble if you get married. You will not enjoy a day of this marriage. You will not enjoy each other for one day. It will be, she will be choking if you keep her in the tent. And you will feel like you are living your destiny if you follow her on missionary journeys. And both of you want to be married. How do you want? The two of you are heading for different paths in life. You cannot be married. The guy said, okay, thank you, sir. And he went to sit down. There was nothing I could have done. In fact, in retrospect, I was thinking, maybe I should have just gone to the sister to and told her. But I didn't know her. You can't be that familiar with a sister, you know. It's a brother you can talk to like that. And the fellowship he was leading, he didn't have like a superior. Even if he had a superior, who am I? So that I just forgot about the issue, right? Now, a few days ago, I got a message from this sister. She remembered me from years ago. She sent me a message to my DM on Twitter. She was telling me about her exploits, where she had been, the miracle she's doing, how she has been fed through so many of her content as a ministry on the website, gbenga.com, and the other things, the books. And I said, oh, I believe they told me you are married. Did you not get married again? Oh, she said, oh, we married, but it didn't work out. I panicked. I almost choked because I knew that it wouldn't work out. But you still hope a little that maybe you'll be wrong. I told her to send me the husband's number. She did, because I needed to reach out to him to see how I can be of help. Because she said, oh, he has been a wreck. He started drinking. He has lost hope. And she's bawling. She had been with him for some years as a parish pastor's wife. And all those years were miserable for her. So as soon as she couldn't take it anymore, she pushed for a divorce. She got divorced, got out of the country, and began to do the mission work that she was called to do from the beginning. Now you understand how it is as a pastor who has very serious tenets that the church will put together about being divorced and being a pastor, about heading a church and being divorced, all those laws. And he believed that she had ruined his life now. And then he had backslided, like in quotes, he couldn't lose his ambition, but the thing hit him hard. And he's now doing what most of us do. He's throwing a tantrum. Destroyed the tantrum. And so she said, oh, she reached out to me. And that was one of the things she reached out to me to see if I can be of help. Since he told her later that Brother Gbenga said I shouldn't marry you. I didn't listen. Brother Gbenga said I shouldn't marry you. Brother Gbenga said I shouldn't marry you. So then, of course, it came back to my table. So yesterday I called this man. 2 days ago, I called him, I didn't pick. Yesterday, I called him, I sent him a message, I sent him a mail, and then over the night, I was able to speak with him. We prayed together. He told me his journey, where he's been to, what has gone through. And believe me, neither of them are wicked.